So what if I showed you this Godot game that I have over here? So what you could probably say as soon as it's been played is that it feels pretty well, like it has lots of feedback when I collect coins, when I jump, when I move. So in reality, all these resources are called game juice. And until now, they were made basically 100% manually. So for example, here we have the coin, and this coin has an animation that I made manually, which does the collect coin animation. Now the good thing is that with AI you can actually automate this process and create these animations or even better ones in literally less time. So now let's say I have this very simple example, and I'll show you how you can actually integrate these animations, okay? So this is a pretty simple collector game. So I have this player that I can move with the arrows, and I can, for example, collect these coins. So what I'm gonna do is press Ctrl A in the script where I have the logic in which I am detecting the collision between the coin and the player, and I will then press Ctrl C to copy it. And then I will go ahead and go to basically ChatGPT. Now here we can select the modes. I have the auto, which will basically decide between instant and thinking. I believe that for these cases, thinking is a little bit better. And I will just paste the code with Ctrl V, and with Shift Enter. I will just enter a little, like some empty lines, and I will write that I want a tween in Godot 4 to add some kind of a collect coin animation. So this is the prompt that I'm gonna be using, and I'm gonna send it. So now I will just have to wait. And as you can see, after something like 30 seconds, now we have the final code. So what we can do is copy it, okay, and of course there could be some mistakes, but let's check it out. And what I will do here is press Ctrl A once again to select everything, and now Ctrl V to paste it, okay? And as you can see here we have the logic, okay? It's gonna be creating a new tween and basically setting up the different properties. So let's just hit play, okay, and see what we end up having. And here is basically the effect that we've got in literally 2 seconds. So it's still very basic, it could be made way better, but something basic and that works, and that was made in literally 30 seconds. So first of all, we have here a couple of warnings. This one is because I'm not using Delta over here, so let's just put here this. And then we have this function blocked during in-out signal. You set deferred monitoring to false. So basically this monitoring here, what it's doing is that it doesn't allow basically this area to detect any more collisions with. So let's basically use set deferred over here as this suggested. So set deferred monitoring, and then for the value false, okay? And with this we can delete this. Once again, this has not been suggested by ChatGPT, but it's there, and now it should still be working, but with no errors, okay? So once again, this is not completely automatic, but here it is. So just to explain a little bit here the code, what it's doing is that first of all, in order to create a tween, what you do is create the tween instance. In this case, this is stored in the t variable, and here we use the create tween function, which is a built-in function. Then the first thing that is done here is a set parallel, and what this does is that it basically allows the tweens that we start over here, or that we set, to be run at the exact same time. If this is set to false, it's gonna be placed sequentially. Basically, for example, first it's gonna be scaled, then it's gonna change the position, and then it's gonna change the modulate. But in this case, all these things are gonna be done in the same time, okay? Then what we have here are some tween property functions, which basically, as you can see, requires a lot of parameters. So the first one is the object. In this case, this is self, okay, basically this object. Then we have the property that we want to modify, in this case the scale. Then we have the final value for this property that we have defined. So in this case it is a vector 2, okay, with 1.25 and 1.25, so slightly bigger. Then we also have the duration, in this case 0.12. Now on top of this, you can select the type of transition, or the type of ease, basically. So here is the transition, and then here the type of ease. Once again, I want to get too technical, but that's basically how this is working. And here you have two pathways. You can either kind of understand what's going on and do your own adjustments, because of course the first time this may not be perfect, or what you can do is once again, press Ctrl A to select everything, Ctrl C to copy it, go back to GPT, paste the code, Shift Enter, Enter, just to enter new lines, and tell them, okay, so maybe this is what I want. So once again, you can kind of iterate on this a little bit more. And here we have the brand new code. So let's copy it once again. Let's go back to Godot, Ctrl A, Ctrl V. And let's check what we end up having. Okay, and once again, this is way better. This is something that could be actually useful. Okay, so indeed it's pretty good. Okay, and now let's say that, for example, I add more logic to basically also increase the score in a canvas layer. So very simple. And we also want to animate this because, well, we can collect the coins pretty well, but well, maybe we want some kind of effect. So I'm gonna do something very similar. I will grab this, Ctrl C, firstly Ctrl A, then Ctrl C. I will go here. We can type in instruction like add the same thing, some kind of game juice, and then Shift Enter, Enter again, Ctrl V, Enter, and we can wait a second. So here we've got it. Let's copy this code. Go back to Godot, canvas layer. Let's just replace the code. Because the value doesn't have a set type. So yes, this is a problem here using invert types where it shouldn't be using invert types, or at least in the way that it's been using. In this case, it has even added a floating test, so pretty interesting, because I thought it was gonna be just like a tween that was scaling in and out, something way simpler. But it seems that it actually went a little more complex. I don't know if this will actually work, so let's firstly give it a try. And okay, yeah, it kind of works. There is a +1 going on there that I cannot really see. I don't know if maybe making this a little bigger. Let's try it out. If not, I will ask ChatGPT to try to correct it. And no, because this is anchored to the top left. But as you can see, it's actually done some stuff pretty interesting. But yeah, let me try to change the anchors of this. So let me actually put this, yeah, in the top center. Yeah, maybe there, I think. Maybe we can check it out. No, but it's always in the top left. So we would have to lower it down a little bit. Of course, then you can adjust it. You have to change the pivot. But, you know, something that you can really modify easily. But there it is. It's even added a +1. So let's try to go a step further, because this was pretty interesting. Let's tell it to spawn the +1 on the collected coin. On the collected coin, yeah. Let's do it like that. And we'll just paste the code just in case. Oh yes, because I've also modified the invert types. Okay, so here it is. Yeah, this is the canvas layer script. So pretty interesting. Let's paste it over here. And here we have the coin script. Okay, so let's put it over here. So pretty good. Let's check it out. Okay, we've got a problem. Value doesn't have the type here. Invert type is not correct. Okay, and let's check it out. We've got another problem. Null instance on a null instance. So in this case, I will just try to paste the code over here. Actually, this happens because here it's trying to get a camera, which I don't have. And by the way, here it didn't tell me to kind of add a camera or anything like that. So here's the updated script. So once again, let's just go ahead and try it out. So I will paste the code, press play, and we have the same problem. Cannot find member in reality. So yes, here ChatGPT tried to make something a little bit more complex and wasn't able to do so. What I will do, I will come back here and let's try to add a camera here. Camera 2D. Yeah, I don't know if I have to move it. Yeah, a little bit. I believe there's an option here. Yes, there it is. Okay, let's check it out. Okay, now but we still have a problem. Non-existent function, word to screen in base to the camera. So here's a kind of inventing. Yeah, so it's a little bit weird, but it was really working very well. Here it kind of made everything way more complex than needed. What I want to explain is my point. Previously you used to need to type all these things manually, understand about curves, about connecting tweens together, about understanding how to create good game juice. And right now with ChatGPT, fortunately, you have even easier ways to do it. So well, what do you think of this resource? Let me know in the comments.